Pokemon Week has officially started and we're expecting a ton of brand new Pokemon information. We're going to break down the latest in news, rumors, leaks, and some incredible hints that may tell us exactly what that next Pokemon game is going to be. Let's do it.
Butterfree, go!
Yo, whoa, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka A-Drive, bringing you guys a brand new video today, and today we are diving into the world of Pokemon 25, the 25th anniversary of the Pokemon franchise, taking place on Pokemon Day, February 27th, in just a few days. Pokemon has said in a number of different statements that they are celebrating Pokemon Week, so we're expecting to see a ton of different news and information coming out over the coming days, so I implore you guys to be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Do not miss out on this Pokemon news. You could subscribe, get those notifications turned on, that way you're not missing out. We're going to dive into some pretty crazy stuff today, and I want you guys to bear with me because I think you're going to find some pretty amazing takeaways from this video. So let's not waste any time and let's just jump into it. Before I go to the meat and potatoes about the next main series game, I want to address a couple other things. One of which is one of the main data miners in the Pokemon world, Sires, has come out and said that there's some new information regarding some of the Pokemon in Sword and Shield, the Regis, Impidimp and Glimwood Tangle, etc. And those Pokemon, when shiny hunted, are not impacted by the shiny charm. I know many people in the community have been trying to get shiny Pokemon like the Regis, and they're taking so long, and everyone's like, what's going on with that? Well, now we know that they are not impacted by the shiny charm. So Regidrago, Regieleki, the other Regis, Impidimp and Glimwood Tangle, and beyond. I just thought that was some fun information for you guys still hunting those shinies. The next thing I wanted to mention was in Japan, they're actually holding a vote right now to determine the most popular Pokemon, and Dedenne, of all Pokemon, is actually winning. Yes, with nearly 50,000 votes at the time of me grabbing this screenshot here, Dedenne is in quite the lead, and I guess that's in large part due to Seijun Park, a previous Pokemon World Champion. He's been advocating his fans to vote for Dedenne. Dedenne, of course, is a troll Pokemon for me, so I just find this to be funny, but very interesting to see, aside from that, how these Pokemon are kind of recepted around the world. I think of Pokemon like Pikachu and, Umbreon and Eevee and, Charizard as being really popular. But here we see Pokemon like Snivy, Buzzwole, Sableye, Magnemite, Pokemon you definitely would not expect like Swadloon. And that just goes to show how global Pokemon is and how people of different cultures and regions have different opinions based on those Pokemon. I know, like, where I live in the United States, a lot of people are big on Charmander and things like that, but I guess in other cultures, some cultures, they're super big on Squirtle and maybe Bulbasaur. So it's just really interesting to see how big the Pokemon world really is and how, depending on where you live, you may have different favorite Pokemon based on your own experiences. Makes a lot of sense, but it's interesting when put into context. We've got a lot to cover in this video, so stick with me. Eclipse TT has posted a handful of different things on Twitter regarding some of the 25th anniversary information. There's 128 different stamps to choose from that you can grab on this one website. There's some updates to Pokemon Cafe Mix. I mentioned to you guys that there's a Gmax Pikachu Raid event going on from February 26th to March 1st. We have to get 1 million wins, and we're gonna get 100 Armorite ore and 100 Dynite ore, so I guess they announced the prize for that. Nothing too mind-blowing there. There's been some different Pokemon Go celebrations going on for the Kanto Tour. We know that there's Pokemon Masters EX updates coming out, and furthermore, there's a lot of other things going on. I mean, there's the Diecast Pokeball, there's the fact that Post Malone is doing a concert on the 27th. There's just so much stuff going on today, but I want to break down what I think this next main series game is and why I think it is such. So let's dive down the rabbit hole, A-Drive Army, and let's take a look. For those who don't know, Junichi Masuda is one of the directors at Game Freak. He is very much so involved in the process of Pokemon creation, developing the main series games and beyond, and his role extends far throughout the Pokemon franchise. I want to show you guys this tweet from 2016, which was the 20th year anniversary of the Pokemon franchise just 5 years ago. Junichi Masuda tweeted out, "Even though the sun is still out, the moon is big and bright. The birds are also tweeting." And this was just about a week or two before the reveal of Pokemon Sun and Moon. Now you might be like, oh, A-Drive, it's just a coincidence, it's just a tweet. But the reality of it is, Junichi Masuda has set a precedence in the past of teasing the next main series game multiple times on his Twitter account through these posts. So here we have perfect evidence of him teasing Sun and Moon prior to it coming out through this picture of the sky with the birds and the sun and the moon and everything in between. And let's look at this potential Diamond and Pearl stuff now. In our last video, I mentioned some logos that came out and the translation proved to be correct, but I'm not necessarily sold that these are real, but these are for Pokemon Sky Diamond and Pokemon Ocean Pearl. Again, I'm not saying that these are real, But just hang with me on this, right? Because a lot of things are pointing towards these potential Dominant Pearl remakes to come out, or at least be teased this week. And there's a handful of Junichi Masuda tweets that may point us in that right direction. Going back to January 28th, Junichi Masuda tweets out, "I went out for the first time in a long time at work. It's warm today." And he takes a picture of the sky and this very distorted looking tree shooting up to the sky. And you may be like, oh, this is just a picture, and oh, A-Drive, you're looking too much into it. But again, hang with me on this. This could be some sort of a reference to the distortion world, right? Not saying it is 100%, but when you look at all the pieces, maybe they come together here. Could this be a reference to the distortion world, which is of course where Giratina is held? I don't know, but when you look at another one of his tweets, which took place on February 3rd, he takes another picture of the sky and says, "The day when the signs of spring begin to rise, that's right, it's a wonderful day. It's been a while since I came to Game Freak today." And another picture of the sky simply a week later. Then he triples down on February 17th with another picture of the sky and says, "It's sunny today too, it feels good. Beautiful sky without any effects. Let's do our best work and study from the afternoon." And the craziest thing is when you look at this picture, people are speculating that the tree in the bottom right-hand corner is indeed a rowan tree. Now, obviously it's wintertime, so rowan trees are not gonna be fully in bloom, but obviously the professor in the Sinnoh region is Professor Rowan. Again, I know this seems like such a stretch, but the reality of it is, all of the promotion is pointing towards Dominant Pearl remakes. Masuda's posted 3 pictures of the sky in 2 weeks. And then he posts this picture, which potentially shows a rowan tree in the bottom right-hand corner, which happens to be the name of the professor in the region. I'm not saying it's 100% confirmed at this point, but I am 1,000,000% on the Sinnoh train bandwagon, and I really do believe that his tweets are actually teasing the fact that we are gonna get confirmation of that Sinnoh remake game for 2021 and the 25th anniversary of the Pokemon franchise. One thing I also want to mention is going back to that January 28th tweet, which we actually brought up. Someone decorated a Munchlax in the sky formed out of the clouds, and Masuda retweeted that and thought that was kind of funny. Munchlax, of course, a baby Pokemon that debuted in Generation 4 in the Sinnoh region. An incredibly reputable leaking Twitter account, Centro Pokemon Leaks, has indicated that we won't have to wait until Pokemon Day. We are going to get that reveal teaser / announcement for Dominant Pearl remakes prior to the Pokemon Day, February 27th. So again, I can't emphasize this enough. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel so you do not miss out on that Pokemon news. Get those notifications turned on. And lastly, I just wanted to show a couple clips here. I found that this was quite beautiful. Centro shared this, but I had come across this from last month. Someone actually modded Pokemon Platinum to include seasons. And if you remember, seasons was a feature that was added into the Unova region for Black and White and beyond, and it changed every month, and then you could actually go through the seasons in Pokemon. Well, that hasn't really been indicated in other Pokemon games, but this person has actually added it into Pokemon Platinum, and it looks amazing. You can actually see a couple of the different seasons featured here as if it were to be in that kind of 3D art style with the seasons. Looks beautiful, and it just gets me even more excited about the prospect of Sinnoh remakes. Listen, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to take a look at the different promotional items that Pokemon has released, has announced, and is working towards for this year to make a conclusion that it's very likely that we do indeed get Dominant Pearl or Sinnoh remakes. I find it quite interesting that Masuda's tweets continue to reference the sky, as well as potentially showing off a rowan tree, which may or may not point to that professor from the Sinnoh region, but ultimately, time will tell. We should have some sort of a conclusion here in the next few days, and while I urge caution of getting too excited for something that's not confirmed yet, I'm certainly on the Sinnoh bandwagon, and if that's not the case, I'll take the L, but it's the 15-year anniversary of Sinnoh. It's the 25-year anniversary of Pokemon. It seems like the stars are aligned for this to happen, and to happen swiftly in the next few days. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Don't forget, you gotta get those notifications turned on so you don't miss out on our Pokemon news. And be sure if you're looking for other content to watch, you can check out my Pokemon Xenoverse Nuzlocke Let's Play. People have been loving it. It's a really cool game and you should try it yourself. It's been quite a bit of fun to play. Until the next news announcement, which again, it's gonna happen in the next day, maybe in the next, it could be later today, who knows. I'm gonna keep my eyes and ears peeled and I'll have it for you guys here as soon as I can, right here on youtube.com/ADrive. Thank you so much for watching this one, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. If you guys enjoyed this news video, you should check out this one right here. Otherwise, this one's pretty sweet. Make sure you guys are subscribed, and I'll see you guys on the next one.